Have you ever wondered what separates those who constantly seem unstoppable from those who fall short? What's the secret to mastering productivity, beating procrastination, and staying focused when the world around you seems to pull you in a million directions? Well, I used to struggle with these things too. But then I discovered something: 10 daily habits that completely transformed my life. What if I told you these simple habits don't just change your day, but your entire mindset, your relationships, and even your goals? Imagine waking up every morning feeling empowered, driven, and ready to crush anything that comes your way. Sound impossible? It's not. And today, I'm going to share exactly what I did to become unstoppable. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll have all the tools you need to unlock your own version of unstoppable success. Number 1. The power of a morning routine. Have you ever woken up feeling like you just want to stay in bed all day? What if there was a way to wake up energized, focused, and ready to take on anything? A morning routine isn't just about getting out of bed on time. It's about creating the foundation for an unstoppable day. For years, I struggled with inconsistent mornings. Sometimes I would rush out of bed, checking my phone immediately, letting distractions take over. But that habit drained me before I even got started. That's when I made a change. Instead of diving straight into work or scrolling through social media, I began setting aside the first hour of my day for myself. And trust me, this made all the difference. Here's what I do now. I wake up early, around 5:30 a.m., and I start with gratitude. Why? Because I've realized that starting my day with positive energy shifts my mindset. I then take 15 minutes to journal, planning out my day and aligning my tasks with my core values. I focus on what's truly important, and this allows me to take control of my day before the world tries to take control of me. By the time I sit down to work, my mind is clear, focused, and ready to take on any challenge that comes my way. It sounds simple, right? But this habit sets the tone for my entire day. Can you imagine what it would feel like if you took charge of your mornings like this? Number 2. Prioritizing health for unstoppable energy. What would you do if you had endless energy throughout the day? How would your life change if you didn't hit that mid-afternoon slump? We all know that energy is the driving force behind everything we do, but have you ever stopped to think about how you fuel that energy? The second habit that made me unstoppable was taking my health seriously, physically and mentally. At first, I thought working longer hours and powering through fatigue was a sign of dedication. But let me tell you, that mindset was a recipe for burnout. The breakthrough came when I realized the importance of regular exercise. Not only did I feel physically better, but my mental clarity shot through the roof. I made a commitment to myself to work out every single day, even if it was just a 30-minute walk or stretching. And the impact was immediate. I had more energy, more focus, and a better mood, which helped me stay on top of everything. Additionally, I revamped my diet, focusing on nutritious, whole foods that gave me sustained energy, rather than relying on sugary snacks or too much caffeine. Hydration was key as well. By fueling my body properly, I felt more in control, more confident, and more capable of facing any challenge. So, what would happen if you dedicated just 30 minutes a day to improving your physical health? What would your energy levels look like if you paid attention to how you're nourishing your body? Number 3. Setting clear goals and staying focused. How often have you set a goal, only to lose sight of it within a few days? Why do we tend to drift away from the things we want most? One of the most powerful habits that made me unstoppable was learning to set clear, actionable goals. In the past, I used to think that simply having a goal in mind was enough. But over time, I realized that without clarity and focus, I would never achieve what I truly wanted. That's when I started breaking down my goals into smaller, more manageable steps. I asked myself, what is the one thing I can do today to move closer to my goal? And I stuck to that. For example, if my goal was to grow my business, I didn't just write down "grow my business" on a piece of paper. I broke it down into specific actions, researched 3 new marketing strategies, reach out to potential partners, set up a content calendar. By focusing on these small tasks, I moved closer to my larger goal without getting overwhelmed. And here's the thing, I don't just set goals for work. I set them for personal growth, relationships, health, everything. But the secret is not just setting goals, it's committing to them every single day. Have you ever wondered how you can avoid losing focus? What would happen if you set your goals clearly and focused on them with all your energy? Number 4. Embracing failure as a stepping stone. Have you ever failed at something and felt like giving up? What if I told you failure was one of the best things that could happen to you? The fourth habit that made me unstoppable was shifting my perspective on failure. At one point, I used to fear failure so much that I'd procrastinate or avoid challenges altogether. The thought of failing held me back from taking risks or pushing myself beyond my comfort zone. But everything changed when I realized that failure isn't something to fear, it's something to embrace. Each time I failed, I learned a valuable lesson. I stopped viewing mistakes as roadblocks and started seeing them as opportunities to grow. Now, when I face failure, I ask myself, what can I learn from this? And how can I use this experience to become better? This shift in mindset has allowed me to take more risks, try new things, and grow faster. Embracing failure has been one of the most empowering habits I've adopted. It's given me the courage to keep going, even when things don't go as planned. So, what would happen if you stopped fearing failure and instead saw it as a stepping stone to success? How would your journey change if you embraced mistakes as learning opportunities? Number 5. Cultivating consistency over perfection. Have you ever felt that urge to get everything perfect before you start? Do you find yourself waiting for the right moment to take action, only to realize that time has slipped away? Well, that's exactly what used to hold me back. But what if I told you that perfection is overrated? Consistency is the real key. For years, I struggled with perfectionism. I'd spend hours, even days, trying to perfect something, whether it was a project at work, a presentation, or even a piece of content. But what I learned was that perfection doesn't lead to success. Instead, consistency does. I stopped aiming for perfection and began focusing on showing up every single day. Even if I only had 10 minutes to work on something, I made sure to take that time to move forward. I built the habit of small, consistent actions that compounded over time. And let me tell you, the results were more powerful than any perfection I had ever chased. So, what if you let go of the need for perfection? What could you achieve if you simply showed up every day, doing your best and staying consistent, rather than trying to make everything flawless? Number 6. Mastering time management. Have you ever felt like there's never enough time in the day? How many times have you looked at the clock and realized that hours have passed by, yet you haven't accomplished what you set out to do? Time is one of our most precious resources, and learning how to manage it effectively is one of the most powerful habits that made me unstoppable. When I was just starting out, I often felt overwhelmed by the sheer number of tasks I had to complete. I'd jump from one task to another, never really finishing anything. It wasn't until I started using a time-blocking method that everything changed. Now, I break my day into chunks of focus time, specific blocks for specific tasks. I don't let myself get distracted during these times, and I avoid multitasking at all costs. Instead of being busy, I've learned how to be productive. And by mastering time management, I've created space in my day for everything that truly matters, without burning out. Think about it. What would happen if you focused entirely on one task at a time, with no distractions? How much more could you accomplish in a day if you truly mastered the art of time management? Number 7. Surrounding yourself with the right people. What kind of people are in your life right now? Do they lift you up or drag you down? Have you ever thought about how the people around you influence your success? I discovered early on that surrounding myself with the right people was crucial for my growth and success. The old saying, "You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with," is something I now live by. At first, I didn't realize the impact the wrong people were having on me. But after a few negative experiences, I made the conscious decision to surround myself with positive, motivated individuals. People who supported my goals, challenged me to grow, and inspired me to do better. By associating with the right people, I gained fresh perspectives, valuable advice, and a network that has helped me push through tough times. Surrounding myself with a strong, supportive circle has been one of the most powerful habits I've adopted. So, who are the people you're surrounding yourself with? How much are they contributing to your growth? Imagine how your life could change if you focused on cultivating relationships with people who support your dreams and challenge you to be your best. Number 8. Practicing gratitude daily. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by everything that's wrong in your life, forgetting to appreciate the things that are going well? How often do you pause to recognize the good things around you, big or small? Gratitude is a game changer. It's one of the habits that made me unstoppable, and it can do the same for you. There was a time when I was so focused on what I didn't have, what I hadn't achieved, that I forgot to recognize the blessings right in front of me. It wasn't until I started practicing gratitude daily that everything shifted. Each morning, I take a few minutes to write down 3 things I'm grateful for. These can be anything from the simple joy of a good cup of coffee to the opportunity to work on something meaningful. Focusing on gratitude brings a sense of calm, joy, and perspective, helping me maintain a positive outlook no matter what challenges arise. Gratitude changes how you view the world. When you start appreciating what you have, you begin to feel more abundant, less stressed, and more confident in your abilities. So, what are you grateful for today? What would happen if you took just a few moments every day to appreciate the blessings in your life? Could it shift your perspective and help you stay focused on the bigger picture? Number 9. The importance of self-reflection. Have you ever found yourself stuck in a cycle, unable to move forward or make progress? What if the key to breaking that cycle lies in understanding yourself better? Self-reflection is one of the most powerful habits that made me unstoppable, and I'm about to tell you why. I used to be so focused on moving forward, achieving my goals, and checking things off my to-do list that I never took the time to pause and reflect on my journey. But what I soon realized is that without self-reflection, growth becomes impossible. Every week, I set aside time for self-reflection, whether it's journaling, meditating, or simply asking myself some deep questions. I ask, what did I learn this week? What could I have done better? And how do I feel about my progress? These questions help me stay grounded, aware of my strengths and weaknesses, and make necessary adjustments moving forward. By embracing self-reflection, I've gained a deeper understanding of who I am, what drives me, and where I need to improve. It's the habit that allows me to continually evolve. So, when was the last time you stopped and asked yourself some tough questions? What would it feel like if you took the time to really reflect on your actions and decisions, learning from both your successes and your failures? How might this shift your mindset and propel you forward? Number 10. Celebrating small wins. What if the secret to staying motivated wasn't just about focusing on the big goals, but also celebrating the small victories along the way? How would your outlook change if you recognized and celebrated each step of your journey, no matter how small? At first, I thought that success was all about the end goal, the big moment when I'd finally achieve what I set out to do. But I quickly realized that this mindset didn't keep me motivated. I needed something more to fuel my progress every day. That's when I began celebrating small wins. It doesn't matter how minor the achievement might seem. Whether it's completing a task, making progress on a project, or sticking to my morning routine for a week, each victory counts. By acknowledging and celebrating these moments, I built momentum and felt a sense of accomplishment that kept me going. Celebrating small wins also gave me the energy to keep pushing toward the bigger goals. I didn't wait until the end to feel proud of myself. Every step forward was a reason to celebrate. And trust me, this habit made all the difference in my journey to becoming unstoppable. So, what small wins can you celebrate today? How would your motivation change if you celebrated each step of your journey, no matter how small? Imagine how much more empowered and unstoppable you'd feel if you recognized your progress every day. Conclusion. Now that I've shared the 10 daily habits that transformed my life, let me ask you, which one of these habits stands out to you the most? Do you think you can start incorporating them into your life to become unstoppable, too? Remember, it's not about perfection. It's about consistency, learning from your failures, surrounding yourself with the right people, and committing to small, meaningful actions every day. These habits don't happen overnight, but with time, they'll change your mindset, your work ethic, and your entire life. If you're ready to take the first step toward becoming unstoppable, why not start today? Pick one habit and begin implementing it in your routine. Then, let me know in the comments how it's going. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and don't forget to share this video with someone who could use a little extra motivation. And of course, if you haven't already, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon so you won't miss out on more content to help you grow and thrive. You have the potential to be unstoppable, And it all starts with the habits you build today.